The dining hall of Arcos Station was a cacophony of sound, clinking trays, low murmurs, and the occasional hum of alien chatter. Astra sat at her usual corner table, a quiet refuge amidst the buzz of the vast interspecies gathering place. She was a Varnakian, a species not known for emotional display, but instead for quiet strength and stoicism. Her tray of simple plant-based food reflected this, a humble meal, light on nutrition, but heavy with sentimental value from her home planet. But today, Astra was not alone. Around her table were 6 small reptilian hatchlings, barely knee-high, their scales shimmering like opalescent gemstones in the dim overhead lights. These were Phaari hatchlings, the young of a predatory species whose adults were known for their raw strength and lethal capabilities. The Phaari were a force to be reckoned with, towering warriors who could rip through armor plates like they were made of paper. But these hatchlings, no older than a few cycles, were no more menacing than a kitten. Astra gently tore off a piece of her ration and extended it to the smallest of the hatchlings. The tiny creature chirped, cautiously accepting the food with its small but sharp claws. It nibbled carefully, its pointed teeth clinking lightly against the tray. "Slow down," Astra murmured softly, her voice carrying a warmth that was almost foreign to her species. "There's no need to rush." The hatchlings huddled closer, their large eyes filled with both curiosity and hunger. Astra smiled, dividing her meal into small portions, making sure that each hatchling received its share. One by one, they leaned against her legs, chewing contentedly, their innocent faces unaware of the harsh realities their kind had been bred for. Tix, the station's chief security officer, had been watching Astra from across the hall for several cycles now. Tix was a figure that commanded attention, large, imposing, with 4 muscular arms and an exoskeleton that gleamed under the station's fluorescent lights. His eyes, more than human, took in every detail with the precision of a hunter. He had seen countless interactions between species, but nothing had prepared him for this. A human, one of the weakest species in the galaxy, was feeding Phaari hatchlings, and not just feeding them, but caring for them. A low growl rose from one of the larger hatchlings, its amber eyes narrowing as it shifted protectively toward Astra. Tix approached slowly, his heavy footfalls making the hatchlings flinch. The creature at Astra's side, Kylos, the largest of the group, stepped forward, its growl deepening. Astra placed a hand on Kylos's head, a simple gesture of reassurance. "Human," Tix's voice rumbled as he loomed over her, his 4 eyes blinking once, twice. "You are aware that these creatures are not pets, yes?" Astra looked up, her face calm, but her eyes sharp with resolve. "I'm aware," she replied evenly. "But they're not monsters either." Tix's mandibles clicked in irritation. "You are breaking every protocol known to interspecies relations. Phaari are a warrior race. These hatchlings may be small, but their potential for violence is vast. They have already been assigned to the youth sector for feeding. What is the meaning of this?" His voice was growing more intense with every word, his skepticism palpable. Astra didn't flinch. She extended her hand to one of the smaller hatchlings, who immediately scurried closer to her, its tiny body settling into her lap. "They're not just warriors, Tix. They're children. Just like any other species, they feel fear, they feel hunger, and they need comfort." Tix's gaze hardened, scanning the hatchlings. You know full well what they are capable of. Even these younglings can kill. Astra sighed and glanced down at the cub in her lap, its small claws kneading the fabric of her shirt. She smiled gently. Yes, they can. But they're not killing. They're grieving. They lost their mother. Something I am sure you can understand. Dix's expression softened imperceptibly at the mention of loss, but he quickly masked it, returning to his stern posture. Loss does not justify this behavior. You cannot approach them with compassion. They must learn to fight. They must learn strength. Astra's voice remained steady, but a firmness crept in. Strength isn't just about physical power, Dix. It's about emotional resilience. If I approached them with fear, they would feel it. They would attack. But I didn't. I showed them patience, kindness, and safety. And that's why they haven't harmed me. The largest hatchling, Kylos, looked up at Astra, its large eyes studying her face with a curiosity that seemed to transcend mere instinct. Astra gently scratched behind Kylos's ear, the hatchling letting out a soft, pleased chirp. Dix's gaze followed the hatchling's movement, his many eyes narrowing. This is highly unorthodox, Dix muttered. His voice had lost some of its previous edge, replaced by something softer, perhaps doubt, perhaps curiosity. But you have not been harmed. Astra nodded. I'm not here to change their nature, Dix. I'm here to offer them a safe space until they're ready to face their future. If they can feel something other than fear, maybe they can find their own strength, their own way forward. Dix's gaze flicked to the hatchlings, who had now settled in around Astra, their tiny bodies curled up against her. These creatures are predators, Dix repeated, his tone quieter now, almost reflective. They were born to fight, to survive. And I'm teaching them that survival doesn't always mean fighting. Astra replied softly. It means finding connection. It means healing. The silence stretched between them, filled only by the soft sounds of the hatchlings resting against Astra. Dix, despite his confusion and reservations, seemed to understand something in the moment. He shifted on his feet, his arms relaxing at his sides. What will you do when the others arrive? Dix asked. His voice was no longer accusatory, but questioning, as though uncertain of what he would find when the Zirai warriors arrived to take the hatchlings. I'll still be here, Astra said with quiet determination. Until they can be placed with the proper family, I'll be their family. Dix nodded slowly, taking in the scene before him. The Zirai warriors will be skeptical. They will not understand your actions. But he hesitated before continuing. Perhaps this is what they need. Perhaps this is what all of us need. Astra smiled. I'm not trying to be a hero, Dix. I'm just trying to do what's right. And right now, this is what's right for them. Dix turned to leave, but before he did, he glanced back at Astra and the hatchlings. I will report this as a special case, he said, but I will also make sure the others understand the necessity of your actions. You've done something unexpected here, and perhaps something invaluable. Astra watched him go, the tension in the room dissipating. She returned her focus to the hatchlings, who were beginning to fall asleep, their small bodies curled peacefully around her. In a universe full of war, loss, and fear, Astra had shown them a different path, one of empathy, connection, and healing. As the hatchling slept, Astra closed her eyes, a deep sigh escaping her lips. This was only the beginning. The path ahead would be difficult, but as long as she was there, they would not be alone.